We are an extraordinarily privileged school, but with that privilege, there has to be a great responsibility. We live in one of the most unequal societies in the world, and unless we build bridges between the gap between rich and poor, we won't have a sustainable future. St. John's remains committed to being a world-class Christian school in and for Africa, and we are reliant on the generosity of people going forward in order to sustain that vision.
The centenary program was started when the school turned 100, and the committee at the time organising the centenary realised the long-term aims of a school like St. John's College and developed the centenary program and scholarships. We look for boys from all walks of life and from all areas in South Africa, boys that are going to make a huge difference to St. John's as well. So while the boys are here, not only do they bring their cultural diversity, different ideas, different perspectives on things, but they also excel at the school. We've had many that have been heads of houses, captains of rugby, captains of other sport. Often these boys are top all-rounders, they do well academically. We've had a number of these boys become provincial sportsmen and SA sportsmen. So we're really proud of their achievements, and in a large way they've added to the school ethos, they've added to the kudos for St. John's as well. This is a massive program, and to give you an idea of the scope of the program, we've had 10 centenary boys go through the school each year since the inception of the program 16 years ago. At present we have 48 boys in the program from grade 8 through to matric, and a rough cost for each boy is about 250,000 a year. This includes tuition, boarding, school levies, uniforms, transport, books and stationery, trips and tours, medical aid and sports expenses.
I was very fortunate during my time at St. John's to be funded by the Centenary Scholarship and to be a Centenary Scholar. Having not been on campus for so long, coming back to campus is always something which is tear-jerking for me, because I remember the times as a boarder running up and down these particular stairs or going down and playing a rugby match and supporting the first rugby team. And I think something which I always tell my friends and family is that if there was like a period of my life that I could live and repeat, it would probably be my years at St. John's. Following my time at St. John's, I realized life couldn't get much better. But I then went down to University of Cape Town and studied actuarial science and statistics, and I was there for 4 years. Thereafter, I was fortunate enough to win a Rhodes Scholarship to the University of Oxford, where I studied my master's for 2 years, particularly focusing on policy and education and technology. Thank you to the St. John's community, both the college itself, the funders, the old boys, and the boys I studied with. I thank you for turning a boy into a man. I look forward to giving back myself one day.
The Academy started in 2009 by a couple of teachers from St. John's College who decided that they should try to help the community surrounding St. John's College. So they invited students from grade 9 from the inner city to apply, and if they showed potential in maths, science and English, they were then invited to join the Academy. So the boys come every afternoon straight after school. They have normal schooling at their school in Hillbrow, and then they walk across to St. John's College. They have a meal here, and then they go and have lessons with the St. John's teachers in maths, science, English and computers. The St. John's teachers, maths and science and English departments are extremely happy to assist with this program. They love engaging with the boys, and of course this program goes much further than the classroom. We take them on outings to places like Sibono and the Apartheid Museum, and then the highlights of the year are the camps. The grade 10s go on an orientation camp so that they can understand what the Academy means, and then in grade 11 they go on a leadership camp, and then the big camp is the revision camp in matric. And then another big thing that we do is once they get into grade 12, we assist them to apply for tertiary institutions. and we pay for their applications, and then we try as hard as we can to find them bursaries and internships and learnerships. And last year we got 75% of them actually were given some sort of assistance to get to the tertiary institutions that they wanted to go to.
In 2012, I was given the opportunity to join the St. John's Academy. The teachers were amazing. They're good at motivating us as students. They would teach us things that we never used to get taught in our schools. Being around positive people who always want to do better also motivates you to want to work hard and do better. I managed to get myself 6 distinctions in matric. I was awarded scholarship in 2015 to do A-levels. Cambridge exams where I did further maths, pure mathematics and physics. I'm now doing actuarial science at VET.
Riolima is the isiSotho word which means to grow or to sow seeds. And that is exactly what we are doing at St. John's. We are growing young teachers so that they can qualify, gain the experience at St. John's, and then move on either into other independent schools or into state schools or back into their own communities in Orange Farm.
These interns work for us in the morning, very hard, and they study part-time through UNISA. They generally complete a B.Ed degree in that time, and the experience they gain by working in the prep classrooms is invaluable. At the end of their 4-year stay, they have experience that they wouldn't have gained in a full-time university situation, and we found that the interns moving out of that situation are welcomed by the schools where they move, because they bring a wealth of experience and their knowledge of all of the St. John's structures and expertise to those new schools.
I chose teaching because I have a love for kids. The experience at St. John's was first overwhelming to me because they've got great facilities here which I didn't have at my school.
I've gotten to meet a lot of different teachers, and from every teacher that I've been with, I've learned different styles and techniques of how to teach the children.
I've always wanted to make a difference in the country, and especially with kids, because they are the future of the country.
I'm looking forward to the future in terms of me being able to give back to my community and make sure that we produce more role models within the community so that we can be a united front and help push this country forward in the best way possible.
I cannot explain the heartwarming joy that I feel and see when I see these young men and women be given these opportunities, and when I actually see them in action in the classroom, interacting with the boys. It is just phenomenal.
One of the privileges we have of being at St. John's, living in Johannesburg and being South Africans is we have ongoing opportunities to impact on people's and communities' lives. And one of the great projects we're involved with at the moment is the Wilds Precinct upgrade. St. John's has been part of this precinct for over 100 years. The Wilds was declared an area to be treasured in the 1920s, and in 1981 was declared a national monument. And we're very proud to be involved in the upgrading of not only the Wilds, but the areas around it as well. And we'll see a lot more interaction between the pupils and the teachers at St. John's with the community around us. We hope that by contributing to the St. John's Foundation, you will realize that that contribution will go towards developing not only our school and community, but South Africa as a whole.
As the 15th headmaster of St. John's, I feel humbled by what has gone before me. I often say to the boys that we hold the baton for a brief moment in this race, and it's incumbent on all of us to build on the wonderful legacy that has gone before us, to build a better future for us all.